Hey everybody, Mark Schulz here. I have a guest here with me today, Jerry Cutler. Jerry, hi, how are you?
I am well, Mark. How are you doing?
Excellent. Good to have you here this morning. Hey, today's
Thanks.
topic is airlines and digital transformation. Where does an airline start? All right. Hey, listen, everybody's on a different journey. They have a different starting point and a different ending point in the subject of digital transformation. All right. Jerry, if we were an airline and we were saying, where do we start in this journey of digital transformation? How in the world would I even find a place to begin, Jerry? What does somebody do to do
I think it's, the old song, you start at the very beginning.
that? Okay.
What's your operating philosophy? What are your goals? What's important to you as an operator? Because that's going to tell you what you're going to have to do. It gives you that North Star to aim for. If you know you want to be the cheapest but the best, and then you can say, okay, how do I become the cheapest? How do I become the least expensive, for example, without being the cheapest? How do I be the most desired, the best airline without being, the cheapest, and being, dissuading people from wanting to fly from me because I'm so uncomfortable to fly on with 26-inch cheap seat pitch or something. So it's understanding that philosophy, and that's understanding not just at the corporate level, not just at the CEO level or COO level. It's down on the ramp. It's in the airplane. It's on the concourse. Everybody in the company needs to understand this is our operating philosophy. Here's our mission, vision, values. Here are our goals. It's not just about on-time performance. And as you understand, that's that North Star. That's the picture on the wall. That's what we strive for. Then you can look at your operation and say, where can technology help me? Where does, for example, our level of desired customer service become better through use of leveraging technology for information, for example, about a delayed flight? So starting with that picture on the wall, understanding that's where we're going. Understanding the corporate strategy helps you put together what the tactics are and the tools are that you're going to use to move towards that goal.
Yeah, it really just seems so big. I mean, from a standpoint of like operating an airline, there are so many systems and there's so much technology involved, and it's like, where in the world do you start? I mean, and so I see what you're saying. You're saying start from, what's the vision? And then what I've always told people from digital transformation perspective is that it's important to have a picture, of where you're going. And you call that your North Star. So what's the map? What's the operational layout? And then you can begin to look at different pieces of that. And, don't worry about attacking everything all at one time.
Right.
Because, each individual part is going to make up a contribution to the whole. All right. And so I see what you're saying. So starting with the big picture and then breaking it down into smaller pieces and attacking each one of those smaller pieces. I understand that. So as we're talking about the subject of digital transformation, then, Jerry, what are the kind of things that you would do from an operational standpoint that would begin to contribute toward those building blocks of digital transformation? I mean, how would you attack something like that when you're looking at the operation? How do you find the place that needs the most attention? What is that all about?
So we have a way of working with an operator where we take a look at that information from that first picture. Here's some criteria that we're going to use. Here's what's important for us. And we weight that against the challenges that are understood in an operation. And it could be, you might have a list of 20, you might have a list of 100. I had one customer that had 170 challenges, specific challenges that they'd identified. And perform some analysis of, for each one of those, how is it going to impact the goal? Is it going to move the goal forward? Is it going to be neutral? Is it going to be detrimental? Because in some cases, a point solution in many cases will be detrimental in other places and only help once. So the net may be that it's a negative influence rather than a positive. So once we've taken a look at the challenges versus the goals and we've weighted them, we can sort them and say which of these challenges provide the best return on our operational performance and financial performance, customer service performance, whatever the most important things are. And you can take a look and say, all right, let's take the top 5 or top 10. See, now what capability needs to be delivered to resolve these challenges? In some cases, it's technology that will enable that capability. You know, a collection of data, for example, technology, analysis, technology. In many cases, it's training. A lot of different elements there. But what that does is allows you to say, okay, here's, let's say, a top 5, and they are the ones that are going to give us the biggest bang for the buck. We perform some analysis based on our current operating data, and we know that we're going to have to spend this much money to save this much money. And so it really helps with the business case and reduces the resistance, if you will, because you can prove, you can quantify. It's not just a qualified view of things. It's not just my opinion or your opinion or somebody else's opinion. It's a quantified view that has been validated by experts at the airline that if we resolve this challenge by delivering this capability, it's going to save money.
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you that still there are resistances to change at times. And so you have to take into account not just the money side, but also the people side of any change that you're going to make, whether it's a process change.
That's a really important part of it, you know, to bring up is that, you know, people make the ability to transform a business, you know.
Yes.
Hey, Jerry, I want to tell you one really quick thing is that recently I visited an operation, and they decided they needed iPads, all right? And they ran out and they bought iPads and brought them in and installed them, and they were all ready to go. And they pretty much just sat in a rack because they didn't really have a plan on what to do with those iPads, all right? So yes. Digital transformation isn't about going out and buying a bunch of technology and bringing it in. It's really about what you're talking about. It's understanding what are we trying to accomplish in our business, and you know, what are the key problems that we have? How can we create efficiencies, finding solutions, and then bringing those in so that you can together work with the problem and with what the solution is, the process, the technology, people believing that it's possible and engaging and supporting that. All of that comes together into one, you know, package in order to be able to create real true digital transformation.
Right, absolutely. And if you tie all of that back to that North Star, to that picture on the wall, you know, the goals of the airline, then people all the way up and down the chain can see how what they are doing is helping that goal and helping not only the internal customer, but the external customer as well.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Hey, let's wrap it up on that. Hey, if people want to get in touch with you, if they need some assistance at an airline in doing some assessment or, you know, on their digital transformation journey, what is it that you can do for them? I mean, how do you in your business help people in a digital transformation journey?
We can provide that set of outside eyes that comes in and asks the question, why this? Why this? Talks with them, works with their experts within the company to really scrub. Does everybody know what the vision is? Does everybody understand who the customers are, internal and external? Does everybody understand what the true challenges are and how can we resolve them together? So we can perform an operations study. We can, you know, look at the operation at a part or all of the operation and help them through an outside set of eyes, examine their operation and quickly identify where best to focus energy and where best technology might help, but process might help. Both might help, where there are different aspects of change that really may help their operation. Yeah. But that's where we always like to start is help them there. And at that point, they can take it and work it. They can have someone come in and help them work it. It's up to them to decide, we're going to change. And as you always say, you know, the will and the understanding, the belief that you can change is always, that's the critical piece. The rest of it is meaningless if you don't believe you can change, and if you for some reason have resistance to change.
Yeah. Hey, Jerry, if people want to get in touch with you and continue this conversation, how do they get in touch with you?
Two ways. I have a website, aviationadvisors.com, or ping me on LinkedIn. I'm on it every day.
Okay, excellent. All right. Hey, Jerry, thanks for being with us today. I really appreciate this information. You know how passionate I am about the subject of digital transformation. And one of the things I believe is that when we all work together, we share knowledge and we create this virtual mastermind, which allows us in the industry to be able to move further and forward faster together. And so I thank you for sharing your insight and your knowledge here today. And thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Fair winds and following seas to you. Goodbye.